Hi and welcome to another episode of Enlightened Discussions. I am Rishi Gangadeen along with my buddy
Arshaad Ali.
and welcome. Lots of things in store today. You're gonna get to know us a little more, like who really is Rishi Gangadeen, who really is Arshaad Ali. So I hope you guys enjoy this conversation.
For sure. So what we would really like to portray in this is we want to really connect with you guys and give you some insight into who really is behind just the healer, just the photographer, just the teacher, Rishi. We want to go deeper and show you a glimpse into our personal lives, our personal journey. So that's what we want to really connect with you guys and show you what it is like to be around us, is what we want to do. So I have known Rishi for many.
I think it's over 6 years now, 6 or 7 years. Yeah, I believe. Yeah. So we both met at work. When I first met Arshaad was just really shy. He kept a shy guy. He kept to himself. He never really interact with anybody much. He just keep to himself unless when he wants to speak to him, then he would talk to you, and that was it. It's like that was Arshaad for me. It's like this fella a real quiet boy.
Yeah, and I have to say one thing I really admire about Rishi, and anyone who has had the pleasure in being in Rishi's presence, is he just emanates this natural positive energy and peaceful energy. And there's a lot, I'm sure there's a lot that goes into that. So we know that Rishi is he's a teacher, he's a singer, he's also a healer. But what I want to ask Rishi today, and what I'm sure every one of you would love to know, is what did it take to become that embodiment of peace and positive energy that you are today? And what kind of mental habits, what micro habits did you have to create over the years to be this? Because I've worked with Rishi for many years. I have seen him in the highs and lows. I have seen him under stress in work, which he never responded to. He would be in a really tough situation that would stress anybody out, and this man would just be smiling. And I'm like, Rishi, what, like, you're not affected by this? And he's just like normal, right? And even when he was going through some really tough times, there was always this positive energy about him that he never ever lost. And he always has that positiveness about him, no matter what he's going through in life. So Rishi, I would really like you to hear what words of wisdom you have to say. How did you become this peaceful, positive person? How do you embody that energy? And what did you have to do to entrain yourself to do this?
Wow, Arshaad. I mean, that really means a lot coming from you. For me, it's all about parenting. I always thank my mom and dad for just guiding me on the right path. And at a very young age, I was always into religion and spirituality, and I always practice, say my prayers, meditate, and all of these different things. Every single day, you learn a new lesson in life. It's like you may not be aware of it, but as the days goes along, goes into weeks, into months, into years. You get to witness the world for what it really is. And the thing about it for me is that I love to read, I love to learn, especially self-improvement. There's a book my sister presented to me, and it was a book by Robin Sharma, Your Greatness Guide, right? So it has a book 1 and a book 2. So I think I got the book 2 first. I read it, and it's like I was so engrossed in it. The thing about it is that I didn't just read it for reading's sake. I read it and I applied it to my life. So from there I started to practice positive thinking, affirmations, meditation, all of the different things I did to try to cultivate who I am, to be that person that no matter the situation, I will never crack under pressure. Right? And it's like it could be how like the roof is falling. It's like, okay, I'm not going to let this get the better of me. I'm not going to let this fluster me. Right? Because at the end of the day, things should always get worse. So no matter how bad the situation is, you push through and you get through it. And when you look back, it's like, hey, it could have been worse. Right? And as you said, you've seen me in my highs and my lows. And I think the best time I cherish about myself is the times that I've been going through the low points in my life. And I think that's what really drove me further into spirituality and to learn about self-healing and all these different things. Learn to love yourself. And I think that's my message for everybody. That's, love yourself, accept who you are, right? Try to be the best version of yourself. Be the version that you know that you can be, right? Don't let anybody else dictate your life. Because I think there were times in my journey that I noticed I find myself trying to like please people a lot, right? And that never really worked out well, because you're only going to end up making yourself miserable, right? Knowing that, okay, you're doing XYZ, trying to get everybody to like you and all these different things. It's like, okay, well, at the end of the day, not everybody's going to like you, so damn if you do, damn if you don't. I always say this, and I heard this quote somewhere. It's like, even if you start to walk on water, people will always find a negative comment and say, oh, he could only walk on water because he can't swim, right? So it's like I'm done trying to like please people and try to live up to their standards and expectations and things. At the end of the day, claim your life. You only have one life to live, right? And make the best of your time that you have here right now.
Yeah, that's what he said there is, and from what I hear is that at a very young age he would have begun implementing the things, not just reading and absorbing, but actually implementing those things, and that created a foundation over time. And I think that's what a lot of us take for granted, is we consume so much because we have so much information readily available.
A lot of information,
an influx of it, but do we always implement them and put them into practice? Right, and also I remember Rishi once told me that from a very young age, your parents would have brought you up in a way in a very spiritual way, in meditating from a very young age and all of that. So I was wondering if you could share a bit of maybe your meditative practice that you would have grown up with, and also how did that evolve over time?
Right. So with regards to meditation, when everybody hears meditation, they think that you sit in silence, you try to clear your mind, and focus on God or something like that. But the thing is that you can't really clear your mind. A lot of information that passes through, right? But it's what your subconscious mind takes in, right? And what it is you feed it. For me, before I used to do meditation, so we had the Rudraksha Mala, and we were like, you do a jap, so you show a jap mala, so you do like various mantras, you say like Om Namah Shivaya, so you do these particular mantras and you focus. And as I grew up, and you learn, and you learn different techniques, you try different techniques, and techniques from focusing on your breathing, right? Your breath is one thing that you really need to focus on. You breathe in, breathe out. Because the first thing that you learn, that you do when you come into this world, is you take your first breath, right? When it is you're going through various emotions in your life, you notice your breathing changes, your breath changes. And when you leave this world, you take your last breath. So breathing is very important, and a lot of people take it for granted, right? So that's one thing that I've learned to do as well, is like, focus on breathing, focus on my on building that focus and that discipline. Going back to the Rudraksha Mala as well, it's also known as affirmation beads. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to say a mantra, right? A mantra, you could be that, you could do an affirmation for your mantra. It's like, I am happy, I am happy, you do it 108 times, because that's the number of beads there, right? I am successful, I am wealthy, whatever the case may be, because what that is doing, that is actually tapping into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is taking it as, yes, I am all of these things, all of these positive attributes and things. So that's how my practice would have keep going. I meet like different spiritual healers and teachers, and they'll talk, and it's like they say the key to meditation is consistency, right? You can't just do it today and then try to do it next week or next month. You have to be consistent. If you meditate at a particular time, let me say people get up early in the morning before sunrise, you meditate from 5 o'clock for 10 minutes, right? So if you do that every single day from 5 o'clock to 10 minutes, you're going to see a significant improvement in your life, right? When you go out, you're going to see you're going to see a brighter world for what it really is. You're going to actually see that spark in everybody else, and you honor that soul that you meet along the way in your journey.
Yes, and that's actually a good point because I've also had that experience when I started meditating. Like all of a sudden, I would be driving and the trees look greener and the skies look bluer, and it's like, was there always this amount of beauty around me, and I never just noticed it? And that happens because of DMT. I think it's dimetrotryptamine. Is it? But that's the scientific word for it, but it's something that gets released into your pineal gland.
Yeah.
So when you begin to meditate and you start to focus on that point, it starts to activate that DMT. And this is the chemical that gets triggered when people do things like mushrooms and these kind of things, and they get all these psychedelic experiences. But we could actually train ourselves to produce that naturally in a healthy, balanced way. That will never have any harmful effects just by training ourselves through meditation and focusing our conscious thought. And the other thing that he said, so he would have built this habit over many years.
Yeah, many years.
Right, chanting the mantras and doing the breath work. And also what I'd like to say is, and he even mentioned this as well, is that it's about implementing consistently. And I did this for a long time too, where I would meditate in the morning, but then I would meditate, I'll wake up, I'll feel good, and then I go out into the world and I get pulled into all kinds of drama, and it's like, what happened to that meditative space?
Yeah.
Why can't I remain that? And you need to learn the part of building that, training yourself to hold that energy every time you meditate, is so that you could hold that throughout the day and train yourself. And the breathing is personally, and I know that a lot of people find difficulty just watching the breath because people are just wired differently, different things work for them. But to me, the breath is like one of the greatest gifts that we have as humans, and we're always doing it, right? But the funny thing is we just never, just that switch of bringing your conscious awareness to it. And it's because it's something that your body does naturally throughout the day anyway, right? It's really easy to just focus on that. And I remember once hearing someone say that the breath is actually a vehicle to your inner self, your higher self, to that divine. That is your connection to source. So no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are throughout the day, even if you didn't meditate or anything, if you could just bring yourself to that watchfulness of your breath and pay attention to that. And also, it's scientifically proven that the conscious mind, on average, could only focus on 3 things at a time. So you bring your awareness to the breath, and as you do that, you switch to something else. Pay attention to how your hand feels on the desk when you touch it, and how your body feels on the chair that you're sitting on. And as you build that habit, you begin to focus on more and more and more, and soon you'll have no problem just being in that present moment. And then you'll become like Rishi, where nothing could faze you, and you're just this big embodiment of peace, right?
And balance. I think my main goal is to have that balance.
Yes.
So it's not to say that you're trying to be this perfect being, but you must have a balance and know when to draw your line, know when to set your boundaries, right? And that's a very important thing as well. I just want to jump back to those psychedelic experiences we talk about. So could you remember the time we tried the datura seed?
Yes.
Guys, so for those of you all who don't know, right, there's a flower called the datura flower. It's sometimes known as the devil's weed. It's a pretty bell flower. It smells really nice, especially at night. It is just the fragrance, it perfumes the air. It's like wow, right? And it just carries you into this different world with the scent. But there's the seed, right? So the seed is now we didn't know at the time that the seed it is actually a poisonous plant, right? So the seed especially, but we tried the seeds. We were at a friend's house. I was like, hey, then we tried. We were talking about it, and I tried, I think, 3. The seed is very tiny, right? Arshaad, I think, tried 1.
Yeah.
And I think we both had different effects. Because, like, for me, I was very high. It's like...
Well, because you took too much.
Yeah, that's right. So and like, I was very high. I felt so drunk. And I don't know how I reached home. And it's like, I just slept for very long. Until the next day, I was still feeling high. I was like, what's going on with me? Arshaad messaged me, like, dog, my third eye is beating like crazy. What's going on? I say, well, boy, I don't know. And so that's how we ended up researching this the datura flower, and we saw the effects of the seed, right? So when we saw it was poised, I was like, oh gosh, you gone dead. Tree man, you saw flower seed and they're dead, right? But that didn't happen. You know, your body fights off these things. But it was an amazing experience, and you know, we go up to like for me, I visited YouTube and I saw other users. They talk about actually using it, and they had different experiences as well. They had hallucinations. Some people had a sudden burst of energy from it. So everybody with the body chemistry, they react differently to it. Right? So, and they don't know what's the right amount to use, right? Because one seed itself is very powerful, right? So so imagine you take about 3 and you crush it,
which is what he did.
Yeah. So same thing that he talks about, those like the mushroom effects and thing. For me, trying that seed, I was like, all right, I think that's one good experience that I'm not going to want to have again. You know, so it's all about learning. You know, you live and you learn as you go along your journey here on earth, right? So Arshaad, for you now, what really brought you into this spiritual journey? Because I remember, like, in work, I believe I saw you were reading a book by Osho, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember the title of it. So and then I stopped by and I spoke to you. We started talking about the laws of the universe.
Yes,
and
yes,
you know,
I
it's
remember.
like, and I told you, like, okay, whatever you send out is what you're going to get back from the universe. So if you keep thinking positive thoughts, right, you're going to send that message that to the universe that, hey, thank you for this thing. You know, and they're going to send back better things for you, right? And you're going to keep experiencing good things in your life. And if you're negative in your thinking, right, you're only going to be experiencing negative things around you. And you want to know, like, okay, why is this happening? Why is, you know? So it's like your mind is just confuzzled. So that's my one fond memory of you having that particular discussion, and we talk about the different laws of the universe and how it is applied in life, right? So what really sparked that interest in spirituality for you as an individual?
If I remember correctly, I think that would have been like in 2015 or so. And I remember around that time I was just really starting to get curious, and you know, that's when I just started to wake up, so to speak. And a lot of people will probably be able to relate to this. So I was starting to question a lot of things at that point in time, including my religion that I grew up in. Like, I started to realize a lot of things don't make sense, and then I started to look at other religions, and I was like, okay, well, a lot of things don't make sense here. Like, nothing never fully resonated with me. So I was searching, I was curious, and I remember a YouTuber at that point in time who I used to follow. He spoke a lot about Osho. He used to read a lot of Osho books. And I bought this book, which was a book of 112 meditations, 112 methods of meditation, which, interestingly enough, is based on something called the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. And it is 112 meditations that Lord Shiva gave to one of his wives. I can't remember which one. I think it was Parvati. But basically, it's 112 meditations that Lord Shiva gave to his wife. And Osho went into detail, and he kind of decrypted them through his filtering and understanding. And that was kind of my introduction into that spiritual world. And I'll be honest, I learned a lot from them. And a lot of them I still use to this day, like different methods of how to see this world in a different way, and just to perceive everything as if it's empty. And that's not with a negative connotation, but Osho's perspective was that if the outer world is real, then in that moment you are not acknowledging yourself as real. Because
Wow.
yeah. And so yes, I am looking at this camera, I'm looking into this camera now, I'm speaking to you, you are hearing my voice, but who is the person who is observing Arshaad to speak into this camera and look at the camera? Who is behind the eyes looking at the camera, right? And that's it's bringing your awareness to that part of you, that watchfulness within you, that is the observer of everything. And that is your soul, that is your higher self, that is your infiniteness. And so the method that seeing everything as an illusion, if you try this now and you just soften your gaze, right? You're not focusing on anything, you're just softening your gaze. You will see that you become aware of everything. Instead of focusing on one point of the room, your peripheral vision, you see everything there and you become aware of everything. And you're not focused on anything, so therefore naturally your focus goes to yourself. And if you try it, you'll have that experience and you'll experience that watchfulness. Right? And it's really profound and it's really simple, and I still use that to this day when I need to okay, Arshaad, you're getting too wrapped up into the drama of what's going on in front of you now, take a step back. And that's how I take a step back. And you just breathe and you let go, and you just, like a snap of a finger. Okay, this is not real, let go. And then you enter into that space. So there was a lot of gold in that book. I recommend checking it out. However, I'll say with a caveat, take everything with a grain of salt. While the practices are very strong foundation, I highly recommend them. But also remember that people have their own perspective. So Osho would have filtered through things through his understanding. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because everybody has their own points of view, right? But yeah, I would recommend checking out that. And that was my introduction at that point in time.
Well, that's really good though, and it's so exciting to see that. Okay, the mysteries behind your mind, like what pushes this curiosity, right? What really calls us to these things. And as you rightfully said, take everything with a grain of salt, and don't go and try every single thing that you see somebody recommend, right? Only if it resonates with you and you have a light feeling from it, you go ahead and you give it a try, right? So Arshaad, I wanted to ask you a question as well. You're a photographer, and I wanted to what sparked your interest in photography, and as well when it is you're looking through the world through your lens, right? How do you know to capture this particular moment?
Well, to answer the first part, we had a mutual friend where we used to work. He was a photographer, and he kind of introduced me to the cameras and all of that, and I took an interest in it. And I remember my first official photography experience. It wasn't paid or anything, but it was a concert. I can't remember which one, but it was some Bollywood singer.
Right.
Atif Aslam. It was Atif Aslam. Right? And so I probably shouldn't say this, but because I had the camera on my neck, they assumed that I had a VIP pass or something, which I didn't.
GT dog.
So I walked up to the front of the stage and nobody stopped me.
Yeah.
So because they assumed that I was the photographer for the event or something, right? But apparently there was none. So I was the only one up there taking pictures. But Atif Aslam was singing. I can't remember which song, and I was there recording it, and I was just kind of I get pulled into energy really easy, so I was just observing his energy and getting drawn into that magnetism that singers have when they sing. And I was just there thinking to myself wow, this is a really cool experience. And imagine I'm taking this magic and I'm capturing it into a camera right now, and then I could upload this video and other people will experience that same magic.
Right.
And it was just fascinating to me, and that's what sparked it. And at that point in time, there were a lot of these Bollywood singers coming in, and I was like, well, if I got away with this one, I got a media pass. I mean, I wanted to act within integrity as well. I didn't want to do that again, right?
Be official.
So I think the next person that came was Kumar Sanu and Abhijit.
Right.
And I acted with integrity. I messaged them. I was like, hey, do you need a photographer for this?
Yeah.
You don't have to pay me anything. I just new. I'm trying to build a foundation for myself. I was like, yeah, come true. So I went, I got the media pass. And to be really honest, the reason why I pursued photography so much at that point is because I had the dream of one day being able to get that same VIP pass access and meet Sonu Nigam when he comes to Trinidad.
Hey, Sonu Nigam.
And since then, he hasn't come back to Trinidad yet. Okay? So I've waited, but yeah, it's funny. Like that is honestly like that was my motivation.
Yeah.
For doing that, because I admire Sonu Nigam so much, and he resonates with me. You know, the way the energy when he sings, like it's so magnetic and so heart-centered and emotional that everybody just gets pulled into resonance with it.
Yeah, that's cool. And today's Sonu Nigam's birthday, by the way. We are recording this on Sonu Nigam's birthday. So Sonu Nigam, if you're watching this, if somebody said this to you,
happy birthday.
Like, happy birthday.
Yes.
Lots of love and light to you. Good health, success and strength always.
And please come back to Trinidad soon and make sure I get a media pass so my dreams could come to reality. And to answer the second part, which what was it?
How do you know what to capture that particular moment, that shot, that money shot as they call it? How do you know when to take that shot?
Right. And that's kind of actually exactly my thought process, is that I really wish sometimes that people could perceive the world the way I do, because the world, nature, everything around you is so beautiful, and there's so much divinity and gratitude, so many things you could be grateful for in each moment, and so many of us take that for granted and we don't recognize the beauty that is all around us.
True.
So when I observe things and I'm in nature and I see something and I'm just like, wow, like, we get to be here on earth at this point in time experiencing this, and there's no separation between us and that. And yet, we get to sit here and stand here and look at it and be in total awe of it. Like, isn't that amazing? And, when I see things like this, I want to share it with people, right? And so, when I see something like that, when I try to capture it, I try to capture the energy of the emotion that I feel when I'm looking at it and capture that into the picture. And, as theta healers, like one of the things that they train you how to do is to download energies and feelings into inanimate objects, because everything has a consciousness. Right. So we could actually do that too. And I actually do downloads in my pictures for it to emanate a certain energy. And so it could actually exactly replicate what I felt when I was looking at it in that moment. And I'm also in the process of going through my photography business is going through a kind of evolution, and I'm changing the way I do things. And what I want to do moving forward is really connect to the people who choose to work with me and get to the energy of exactly what it is that they wish for me as a photographer to capture. So one of the things that I would intend to do with them is take them through an exercise where they visualize themselves 10 years from now, and they're visualizing themselves 10 years from now looking at the pictures that I took for them at the event. And I would ask them, as they look at these pictures, what is it about these pictures that you're looking at that you just admire, that you're just in total awe of?
Right. And
what emotions do these pictures bring to you in this visualization as you look at them? And I get their feedback, and that way I know exactly what it is that they want me to capture for them. Another thing that I could probably do is also in that visualization, let them visualize that they have all the pictures that I took, like 3 of them framed in their house. And I ask them, what does that picture look like in their mind that they have framed that I took? Right? So that way I get to really, really get clarity of what it is their soul wants from me, what it is that they crave, what it is that they wish to pull out from my energy so that I can give back to them. And that's the kind of connection that I want to have with my clients. And that is the kind of unique experience that I would like to pull them into. And I want it to be a co-creation of magic. Right?
Wow.
And that's the whole
Nice.
thing about it. So
I love that. I love that idea of getting them involved, you know, and okay, what's the emotion you want to emanate through this picture? That's a really good philosophy there, Arshaad. Was in terms of like taking that particular route, you know, to get them really involved in the creation process.
Yeah.
All right. So before we move on, I know you were a guest on a Dave Shine's podcast.
Yeah,
So,
Dave.
how was that experience? Tell us how that meeting come about.
It was really, really fun. Dave is actually from Texas, and we don't know each other personally. He just very randomly found me on Instagram with one of the videos I do. I can't remember. And he messaged me, and he's like, bro, we seem to be on the same path. Let's follow each other. And I was like, cool, yeah. So we followed each other. And I started to observe the kind of things he's posting, and I look at them and I was like, I see myself. He's this really high vibe guy. He's just enjoying life, and he brings spiritual perspectives in a very humorous, playful way. And it's like, that's me,
Right.
And eventually, so one day he posted a story of a podcast he did with another guy. And the thought came to me, I was like, I should reach out to this guy and see if he wants to collaborate in some way. And the next day he messaged me and he was like, hey Arshaad, and he even pronounced my name correctly, which was
Arshaad.
cool. Hey Arshaad, we really vibe, man. We just really vibe. I could feel it.
Right.
Let's do something. I was like, yeah, I agree. Let's do this. And we went there and it was just fun. Everything just flowed. And that's how you know when you're in alignment with something, because it's just easy. We draw out each other's brilliance. And yeah, so it was a really fun experience.
Awesome, man. We will list Dave Shine's link to his channel as well, and also the episode that Arshaad was on.
Yeah.
So you guys can take a listen. That is brilliant. It was lovely, right? There's smooth sailing with it.
Yeah.
So
Rishi, let me ask you some questions now.
Sure.
And I know that, well, everyone knows that you're a singer.
But not everybody would.
Well, they know now.
They don't know. Thank you.
So Rishi's a singer, and a very good one at that.
Well, I try.
And what I would love to know, and what I'm sure everyone else would love to know, is what was the driving force? What ignited that passion of singing within you? And also, if you could share your journey as a singer. So I know that you would have been on Mastana Bahar at some point in time.
Yeah, NCIC.
At a very young age too.
Yeah.
So just share, firstly, what ignited that flame, and how has that journey evolved over the years to now?
Okay. Well, I think with any Indian boy growing up in an Indian household, their parents always play the Indian music. So like my mom, big fan of Bollywood music, especially the oldie goldies, so all the Kishore Kumar, the Mohammed Rafi, Lata Mangeshkar, Asha Bhosle. So all of these, she always listens, and so our home was basically filled with these melodious voices right through. And I remember the first time listening to a song that really captured my attention. It was a song, I think it was by Kumar Sanu. Apna chupaunga dil mein. So I can't remember it exactly. Oh dil mein sanam mera pyar, oye mera dil tera aashik. And I think I just go really crazy for that song. And I remember I used to give my parents trouble to get ready to go to school on a morning, so around primary school time. And it's like, I'm not going. You need to call your radio station and request this song. I want to dance this song. I want to sing and dance that, because you grow up and you're watching the Bollywood stars, the singing, the dancing. It's like, wow, it's so much fun. It's like, I think that kind of really sparked it for me.
Let me just also share, and this is really funny, right? When I was a child, and this time, I think they still had Betamax. Like VHS wasn't even a thing yet, right? And Untitled Chapter had just come out on Betamax, and we rented it. And my parents rented it, and they always want to watch the movie, but they have never been able to until this day, because that same song, I just wanted to keep watching it over and over. Right, and it's like every morning I wake up, they play that for me, and then they rewind it, and I have to listen to it again and again. And it's just something about that song and dance moves with Salman Khan and so it's really interesting that we both have that. Yeah, so it's really cool that we both had that attachment to that song, and it both ignited something in us in some way at an early age.
I think everybody, like whoever heard the song that first time, like especially like when you're a little child, it's like it sounds really amazing.
We'll actually link that song down below if anyone
gets to check it, right? Untitled Chapter was like wow. I was like, and from there I just started taking in the songs and like keep listening to music a lot, from different artists and things. And I started to like just practice singing. Didn't know anything about it. Just keep on singing. I think like after secondary school, I decided to like, okay, should I take some vocal lessons? I actually did start it for a while, and I stopped because like studies came to the way. It's like, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I need to get myself organized in terms of getting my degree and everything. But I never stopped singing. I always kept on singing, even though I didn't complete the training. And I would, even in the bathrooms, like you hear me singing, like have a bathroom, a singing concert on the side. It's like, yeah, rock on, all right? And it's just generally like, it kept going and going from there. I remember when Mastana Bahar, I always watched Mastana Bahar from a little boy growing up. And it's like, wow, okay, one of these days I should, give it a try. At that time, I think I was ready at around 17 or 18. I can't remember the exact age. And I went up there to sing. I performed Kaike Pan, the new version of the song. Are tumka ka batai bhaiya, right? And it's like, I think I was so excited. I couldn't control myself in terms of like the excitement, and everybody just loved the energy I came with, and like I think it was Kyle Mohammed.
Yeah.
He was like right away, yeah, he's in the show. I was like, all right, cool. And went up. I came out fourth. I got People's Choice. And for the semi-finals, I placed fourth again with People's Choice. And like I think it was that same year, I went up to NCIC. I performed, and like the whole crowd after the end of the performance is like, wow, exploded. Right, I didn't get placed, right? But you can't always win it all or get placed in it, right? But the experience was amazing. That energy, that vibe that you got, and it's like I felt so good, because like for me, I think I got the loudest applause from the audience at that time, and I was like, wow, let me just soak it in, take it in. It's like, it's really good.
Yeah, because like even that little thing that you just did there, like the energy of the whole room changed.
Right? And a couple years later, I tried again. I went up to Mastana again, and I placed second this time. All right. It was a really good experience. It's like I did Kudaya Kir. Kudaya Kir. I did that song, and it was like, wow, amazing. But it took a kind of bad turn coming up to the semi-finals, in that this is a story for another time, right? But that particular incident kind of changed me a bit, right? So it kind of like, I was kind of, my spirit was a bit broken from that particular experience. And so I kind of like gave up on singing for a while. And then like, it never really, I never really let it go. It was always there. I would always practice and everything. And I just continued singing. Eventually, like in work, I did my first recording, which was my partner Chicken, right? And then I did Bacchanal, and I did a cover version of Jabukui Bad. so far, and it's it's just getting me back into the groove of it to be able to come up with your own song, write that and put that on record, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is something I'm proud of, it's like, so it's the journey is still ongoing, I have a lot to do as well. I still have plenty to learn. I have a lot of growing to do in that particular department. But yeah, I'm willing to do the work for it, man.
Okay, great. And so I have a request. I'm sure a lot of people have a request. They want to hear it as well.
I don't think so.
So here's my suggestion.
Right.
Sing, the English part of Jab Koi Baat at the beginning.
Yeah, that I did, or
that you did.
Right. Yeah.
Sing that. For the ladies who are looking right now, and they want to hear Rishi sing, right? And of course, KK.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So we go like, so. You're my love, my life. You're an angel in disguise. I see the sunshine in your eyes, now and forever by your side. जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए, जब कोई मुश्किल पड़ जाए, तुम देना साथ मेरा ओ हमनवा. न कोई है न कोई था जिंदगी में तुम्हारे सिवा, तुम देना साथ मेरा ओ हमनवा.
Hey! Rishi, already intuitively I could already see all these ladies like, oh my god, like Rishi just let me get married.
Nah, boy.
Okay, KK Pan.
So I'll do the Amitabh Bachchan version.
Okay.
It's like अरे भंग खरंग चमाओ चकाचक विलोचन का, अरे ऐसा छटका लगे जिया है तुमर जन्म कोई बात. वो कई के पान बनारस वाला, वो कई के पान बनारस वाला, उलझाए बनते अकल का ताला. ओ खई के पान बनारस वाला, उलझाए बनते अकल का ताला. फिर तो ऐसा करे धमाल, सीधी करते सबकी ताल. ओ चोरा गंगा किनारे वाला, ओ चोरा गंगा किनारे वाला. Hey!
Nice. That was fun.
I love that song. Like, wow, boy, the energy from that song is like, I love it.
Yes.
Especially how Amitabh picture it, and then how Shah Rukh Khan picture it. It's like, wow, yes. Love it. I love it.
I think that's a really, really high note to end with.
Yeah. So before we end off, we have a little rapid fire round.
Okay.
Right. So I have at least 5 or 6 questions to you, and so as quick as possible, you answer.
Okay.
What's your favorite app on your phone?
Instagram.
Curry chicken or curry duck?
Curry chicken.
All right. Money or fame?
Money.
What is one word you'll use to describe life?
Joy and playfulness.
Like 2 words, Arshaad. Tell you what words.
Joy.
Well, joke is joke. What show are you binge watching right now?
New Girl, interesting because
New Girl.
New Girl. Yeah.
Okay.
Because everybody knows I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and there's a cameo of New Girl. So of course I wanted to see what that's about. It's good. It's
all right.
good.
And final question: Bollywood music or chutney music?
Bollywood music, 110%.
Man, I hesitated. But all right. So yeah, that's my side of rapid fire questions for you.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah, shoot away.
Okay, Bollywood movies or Hollywood movie?
I love all those. I love movies from both of them, but I'll say Bollywood movies.
Okay.
Sometimes they're unrealistic, but At the end of the day, it's like, yeah.
Okay. Shah Rukh Khan or Hrithik Roshan?
Wow, okay. Both
It's
of them.
rapid fire.
Both of them. Both are
Both
like,
of them?
like in terms of like in terms of preference in movies or
Based on acting skills alone.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Katrina Kaif or Deepika Padukone?
Padukone.
Katrina Kaif.
Don't slaughter the girl names. Like, wow.
Katrina Kaif or Deepika Padukone?
Deepika.
Deepika?
Deepika. Yeah.
It's a dimples.
Is it dimple?
Okay. What show are you binge watching right now?
I started back looking at Sense8, right,
Uh-huh.
on Netflix. It's a pretty cool show.
Not for children.
Not there. Not for anyone under 18.
I would say 18.
18 and over. 18 and over.
Yeah. Maybe a little older too. Cricket or football?
Cricket.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
TikTok or Facebook?
TikTok.
Okay.
So that's been a fun session, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode and you get to connect with us a bit and get to know us a little bit more, like who Rishi is, who Arshaad is, and we love to see, hear your comments and feedback as well on some of things that brings back memories to you, like what got you involved in what you're doing right now, be it your particular job, be it a particular business. So we love to hear from you.
Yeah, I really hope you guys have as much fun looking at this as we did doing this. It was a lot of fun. And if you enjoyed this, if you resonated with anything that we said, and ladies, if you love Rishi singing, please give us a like, a thumbs up, comment, I want to marry Rishi.
No, don't comment that.
And to see more of it all, subscribe. And
Subscribe and share.
and share.
Arshaad.
Share wherever possible. And thank you so much for spending this time with us and being in this energy with us.
Right.
Thank you.
Keep safe, everyone.
Bye.